All right, so it looks like we're all set. Let's do this. Let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing great. Today is Friday. It's a reason to feel good, even though it is awfully chilly here in the studio. That's why I'm all bundled up. So anyways, my friends, let's get to work. It's pretty exciting today because we have finished this painting and we are about to start a new one. So what does that entail? We are just going to roll up this painting, grab a roll of a fresh new canvas, unroll it on the floor, measure it out, cut it up, staple it to the wall, and we'll give it a first coat of gesso. That should go very quickly. I'm sure we'll be done in a half an hour. But anyways, it's perfect to do on a Friday like that. Monday, we can tackle the new painting the way it should be tackled. So what do we do here? Let's get rid of all the staples so we can roll up this canvas. There we go. And it feels great to be back in the studio. I've been away for several weeks because my computer, because of extension cord, blew my charger of my computer. I had to order a new charger. That took 3 weeks to come from China, of course. Once I got that, I realized that the battery wasn't charging because I had two MOSFETs, which are little fuses that are welded to the motherboard. And since welding is out of my capacity of fixing computers, there was nothing I could do except to send the computer for another 2 weeks. So it's been 5 weeks without painting or streaming, and it's been very annoying, very unstabilizing since I'm used to painting every day. So anyways, let's go over here, and we are going to start off just by looking at a quick recap of what we did to finish off this painting. So we basically did all the finished touches, and then we tackled the frame. We painted our macaw that was flying in the jungle. And then after that, we added the final details to our frame, put that $1 million signature on the canvas, and voila, that is where we are at today. So I am not going to waste any time. I am basically going to go in my back room, get a roll up this canvas, and get another roll of new canvas. I'll just turn this a little bit, just like that. Most of the action today is going to take place on the floor anyways. So let me go back to my little storage room back here. Just going to grab an older painting that I will roll this one on top of. There we go. Just like that. Carefully, of course. It's so much easier to store these canvases rolled up, but I leave a little edge, as you can see here, so that eventually you can stretch it on a frame when it needs to be showed. But even to ship the canvas, it's easier to ship it when it's all rolled up rather than on a frame. So let me just get this last staple out of there. And while I'm at it, I am going to measure off the width of this canvas because I'm going to use the exact same format, and it's 124 centimeters. Okay, 124. I'm going to write that down because I have no brain cells. There we go. Okay, so let's put this baby away. I'll put it right back here, laying it flat on the floor because we don't want the edges of the roll to get all crunched up. I never set my rolls like this because the weight, of course, because of gravity, will just make the edges all mushed up. And you don't want to do that. So you just lay them flat on the floor or wherever. So let's put this baby down here. I'm going to unroll it. So I'm used to putting a few cans of paint on the edges to hold the canvas down, so when I measure, I'm sure to keep everything on the right, there we go. I have the same distance, right? I want to keep everything as square as possible. So what do I need here? I'm pretty unorganized. Pencil, that sounds like a good idea. And I'm just going to put a little edge on my pencil here. This pencil's like looks like I'm about to tackle carpentry work or build a house. There we go. So this, my measuring tape, of course, I need a pair of scissors. So I have several. This will do the trick. And my measure, a ruler. There we go. So let me go over to camera. I'm going to go to camera number 1 here and bring this one down because this is where the action is going to take place. Right down below. And so let me go over to camera number 1. And I'm going to unroll this baby just like that. And I said, how much? I said 120, 124 would be the right distance. Before I used to just eyeball it and didn't care, but the gallery owner that I work with wants these to be like the standard size so he doesn't have to pay extra to get them framed, which I understand. So 124 there. Come on, baby, right there, 124. Little crow's foot right there. And then one last one right here. Voila. Très bien, très bien. Up. Now. So I have no idea what I'm going to paint, but I have all weekend to figure that out. You're going to say if I had 5 weeks of not painting, I should have figured out what I was going to paint next. But to be honest, I was so preoccupied with the computer, trying to fix it myself to save money, that I didn't really think about it. So let's cut this baby up now. I'm going to be careful, not go very quickly, because if I screw up this side, it'll be screwed up on this side. So it feels so good to be back in the studio. You have no idea how enjoyable this is. Okay, very good. So, get back, picking this up, putting this back away and out of the way in the storage room. There we go. Grab my little can of paint. these out of the way. There we go. Now, I have to think about editing my movie, my recap for tomorrow or for Monday. So I got to think how I'm going to do this with the cameras. We're going to do this in 2 times, I guess. Start off. Let me see, how do I do this? I'll just bring this one up. Camera number 1 up just a little bit. Like that. And then I'll switch over to the other camera when it's time to staple this on the wall. So let me put the pencil and everything away. Grab my staple gun, which has staples. Very good. So I'll switch to camera number 1 just for this scene right here, where I'm picking up the canvas. And then I'll switch over to camera number 2 for the actual putting it on the wall. Not exactly sure what height. Maybe a little higher, somewhere like up here maybe. This looks pretty good. So let's do it like that. I'm going to just step back, make sure it's nice and straight. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, very good. So, tac, et tac, et tac. Oops. Of course, out of staples. Typical. So I'm just going to step back over here in my storage room. Oh, man. Grab my staples. Not really very well organized today. Let me bring this camera back up here. There we go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am rusty. Excited, but rusty. So, there we go. Got the staples out. I mean, this is the kind of thing I usually check before I start the stream. But, well, you know, that's how it goes. Kind of forgot my routine, which is cool because it's as though I was starting anew. So let's go back here, do this baby, and do this baby. So you might say, why am I going to put a coat of gesso since it's already primed? Well, the problem is that this is factory primer, which means it's like painting on glass. It's so cheap and shitty that the paint just glides on it, doesn't get absorbed by it. So I always, I made the mistake the first time I tried this years ago, and ever since I decided just to put a coat of gesso on top of it. It's just takes like 10 minutes, and well, of course, then you have to wait for it to dry, but no big deal, right? We have all weekend. But anyways, so let me bring this over like this. I have a brand new can of gesso. Here, I'll bring camera number 1 over, actually, like that. And I'll bring camera down like that. There, like that, we can have both views, I guess, right? Where do I go? I go to that shortcut right there. Make a little bit of room, move everything over. There we go. So, just like that. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Grab my big paintbrush just for this kind of a job. It's these cheap acrylic type hairs, which I don't use to paint, except just to do the gesso. Otherwise, I use normal hairs. And I do have a big spoon that I have to give this a little mix up, as Bob Marley would say. Oh, nice brand new can. I usually have to add a little water, but this time I can feel that it doesn't need it. They must have just received this from the factory, because it is very nice texture. And I don't think I need to add any water to it. We'll see in a few seconds. Maybe I will soak my paintbrush though. That might be a good idea, just like that. As I continue to stir this, but I think it's already pretty well blended in. So let me just go way to the bottom of the jar. There we go. Bottom of the can and bring everything up. Look at this nice creamy stuff here. Okay, very good. So let me just put that there. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let me just add more water in that jar to clean off my spoon. I'll do that on the sink a little bit later. And I'm going to get camera number 1 back in its normal position here. Come on up here, baby. There we go. Bring it back here. There we go. So let's add this primary. You're not going to see much because it's obviously white paint on white background, but whatever. So if this canvas was not primed, the proper way of doing this when it's stretched on a frame is to start from the middle and you put your gesso working your way out like this all the way around. Obviously, this is stapled to the wall, already has a coat, so it's not that important to do it that way. When it's like a naked canvas on a frame, when it dries, the gesso stretches the canvas and makes it like a nice drum-like surface. But like I said, when it's already like this, it's not that important. I still do it that way just out of habit. It's the proper way of putting a primer on a canvas. So I just continue that way, even though it really doesn't quite matter as much as if it was on a frame. So let's start and let's do this. This is going to be very quick and I'll be done in just a few minutes. Where did this come from? Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any time. Friday, time to go home and party. There we go. As you see, I'm starting in the center and I'm just working my way towards the edges. And as I said before, it's just really force of habit. If you learn something and you learn how to do it the proper way, you're not going to change to do it another way. It just doesn't make sense. Okay. Even I have a hard time seeing where I left off with this white paint on a white background. Use the glare of the window. There we go. There we go. Ready or not, here I come. Oh, does it feel good? Does it feel good to paint? I love it. Even though this is more like house painting, right? Painting over the house or the apartment. Except I don't need to worry about cutting the room. All I have to worry about is not getting paint on my face. Okay, back to the top here. I think I can go right to the edge without any problem. Right about here. There we go. So there's a little bit of raw canvas on the edges, but I'm not going to paint over that. Since I'm not even going to paint towards the end, I'm going to make like a frame so we can stretch this canvas on a frame eventually once it is sold. And if the clients want that. So, just going to go very quickly to the edge right here without worrying about it too much. There we go. So before I started this stream today, I went for the first time and did a live Instagram feed just a few minutes before I went live on the air on YouTube, just to show people how to set up, how I set up my studio. And that was kind of fun to do. I wonder if I should do this every day. You know, it's a way to promote my live stream a few minutes earlier on Instagram. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I enjoy doing it, so maybe I'll just continue doing it. I was a little worried about if the Wi-Fi was strong enough to do such a thing, but apparently I had no problem, so that was cool. So, how's everything going over here? Okay? Yes. Uploading at 4,000 kilobytes per second, no drop frames. Very good. There, we're just about done. Just about done. That upper left-hand corner. And then, I guess we are all done. What am I looking for? I just want to move my little keyboard over. There we go. So how does that look? Now, from what I see in the glare from the overhead light, all this looks pretty good. I'm going to check it out with the glare from the window. Make sure I didn't miss any places, like right there. There we go. Feel like I'm a monkey doing this. But anyways. Yeah, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're here to have fun. And, you know, that's it, man. Don't take ourselves too seriously. So, doesn't mean we do a sloppy job either. Let's not get everything mixed up. So, there we go. Let me close this up because I won't need it for a few weeks. There we go. Get this baby out of the way. Step back and stare at my masterpiece. Okay. Very good. So I said 27 minutes. I said this would be a half an hour long, and apparently I was right. So we're going to let this dry over the weekend, and we will have to decide what we're going to do. So once again, my friends, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this half hour of how to prime and cut up a canvas. I know that I enjoyed myself. It just feels wonderful to be back in the studio. And so I'm going to wish you all a wonderful weekend. Have fun, and I'll see you here on Monday morning. I'm going to leave you, like usual, with two things. One is my schedule, which is pretty simple. And the second is by saying, ciao, mes amis.